Alright. It is now 5:45-ish on Thursday, March 5th, 2026. 26. I am in the mall that I worked at as a teenager. Trying to find... I've been advised by my lawyer that I should be cautious about the things that I post online because something about my forfeiting my Fifth Amendment rights by talking about the court cases that I'm involved in. And I understand what she's trying to tell me and why she doesn't think I should talk about those things and why she has advised me as my lawyer not to speak on the details of the case. Because me talking about the false allegations and how they're obviously made with malicious intent to terrorize a person who is known to be a documented victim of anti-black domestic terrorism. Like, I have documentation to prove that. Or at least I should be able to get the email records that prove that it is known. I think this was Sam Goody. I think that's where Sam Goody was when I was a kid. It was right around here. So, oh right, I was gonna not confess to any crimes I might have committed as a teenager. I that's the thing. That story that would have been in my juvenile record. But yeah, I may or may not have been accused of shoplifting when I was 14 years old at this mall, and I may or may not have insisted on speaking directly to a real Braintree police officer, flatly refusing to give the employees my name. Security guard told that person to his face, "You are not a Braintree police officer. Go get me a real cop." Okay, no, I'm nowhere near where Sam Goody would have been. Yeah. I appreciate that they didn't put me into the juvenile system now. Having worked in residential programs and actually been to jail, I can appreciate why that lawyer in 1994 told whoever that judge was that in her professional opinion the safest place for me was at home with my loving family, because now that I've actually experienced what it's like to live in the system, helped so many children. And that's the thing, is like I worked for Elliot for 8 years, or 7.5 years. I worked for Health and Human Services up in Beverly. I worked for Bridge Over Troubled Waters in Boston when they first opened up their youth shelter. This storefront might have been where Sam Goody was. The Foot Locker. Maybe the Bath and Body Works. It was in this general area. But I almost never come into the mall. I don't need to. There's generally not things I need here. It's too expensive, too fancy. But there's a Hot Topic this way. And I need jewelry again. Finally, I decided I'm putting my jewelry back in, even if it hurts. Most of the holes in my face are actually still open. I have 2 here, 1 here, 1 here. I don't know if either of my nose ring holes are still open, or if I'm going to have to get them redone. I'm not going to bother redoing my septum. If I decide I want to wear a septum ring, I'll just get a fake one. Because after a while, I just didn't like the way it felt in my nose, actually. I loved the way it looked. I didn't like it. It was a sensory issue for me. Things have changed in this mall so much. There's the Hot Topic up there, but I want to walk all the way.
Thank you.
I want to walk all the way this way. That's where I would have come in. That's the thing, is like I go back to the places that I used to spend time and that I used to do things, like, you know, reminisce and whatever. Reflect on just remember. So over here, down this end, this space used to be an Au Bon Pain. That used to be Lord and Taylor, and that used to be a McDonald's. This Au Bon Pain, this place when I worked in it, yeah, that's interesting. The physical structure of that storefront, I try not to get other people, I'm trying not to get anybody else in the video, but like the physical structure of this space, I don't think has changed very much in the last 30 years. Bathrooms are right there. The window on this side is different, like they're having that big window there. That's different. The decorations are different, but yeah. I spent so many hours behind that counter. I was good at it too. People loved me. The bitchy employees from Lord and Taylor who thought they were better than the other mall employees because they worked for Lord and Taylor. Like, they were just like snobby people who thought they were better than other people because they worked in the snobby high-end clothing store or department store or whatever. But like, there was like a group of them that would come in the mornings for their frappes, or no, this is the wrong word. Cappuccino, not frappuccino. Cappuccinos and lattes and cafe au laits, and there'd be a separate line for, no, I want him to make my coffee, he actually makes it right. Because I was just good with the steamed milk stuff, I guess. It was very hardworking. That's the thing, is I'm working constantly. People think that I'm just like sitting around being crazy. I'm doing social justice work and disability advocacy all of the time. And then talking about my own mental health and trying to like explain to other people how I control my own like suicidal and homicidal impulses. I'm tired of people trying to make it seem like I've actually done something wrong. When I say out loud, no, sometimes I get angry feelings that make me want to hurt other people. What if the kids who shot up Columbine had been able to do that? Say, no, I'm angry and I feel like I want to hurt someone, and then they get the right help. Sandy Hook shooter, whoever the trans person, they're trying to blame all trans people for shootings now. What if any of those people had just been able to feel like they could safely say, I'm afraid I'm going to hurt someone, please help me not do that. I've been doing that my entire life. Yeah, it comes out sounding awfully threatening when I tell someone, if you don't stop picking on me, you're going to get hurt. But, from all of the people who are supposed to never, ever, ever fight back with your fists, when people use your emotions to make you so wild and irrational that you might just kill yourself to get away from those feelings, I don't think people understand what psychological torture is, because they've been protected from it. There's a reason that people who are I'm normally calm and reserved and happy. Some of us, you bully the shit out of us, we have an inner demon. But, so, not talking about the cases specifically, filed a complaint last night with the Weymouth Police Department against 2 of their employees. Filed a complaint with the Braintree Police Department against numerous of their employees. And then today, someone reached out to me, someone I used to know in high school who lives in the Weymouth area reached out to me and told me that she thought she had seen my boyfriend walking around near one of the McDonald's with a yellow coat on. So I went and showed the McDonald's employees this picture. I was showing a bunch of people this picture. And they were like, no, we haven't seen him. And then as I was driving, I saw, oh no, it's that guy, he's over there. So I pulled over to the side of the road and broke my key jumping out of the car because I forgot to turn the car off and take my key out. It's fine. It still works. It's just the fob is broken in half and I have to finagle it to make it work. But at any rate, I pulled over and I crossed the street and I get up and I'm like, oh no, that's definitely not him. It's not Chris. From a distance, they might be. You know, he's an old, clearly drunk guy with a white beard. But I got up close enough, I was like, oh nope, you're missing a tooth and that's a very different face. When I just dropped the complaint to the Braintree Police Department, one officer took the complaint and went to talk to someone else with it, and someone else came back a minute later and tried to talk to me. I was like, I just want a copy of what I submitted and to leave. And he was like so confused, and I was like, oh wait, it occurred to me, I was like, oh wait, I keep forgetting, I have face blindness problems, especially when it comes to police officers, because I generally don't look at their faces, I look at their badges and their guns. Human faces are difficult to look at for a lot of autistic people. There's too much information, and I find it intimidating, or I find it's emotionally uncomfortable because of how much intimate information is displayed by the facial expression. Like it's the mirror neurons problem. People can't stand listening to the emotion of my voice. I don't like looking at it on their faces. And like I've been trying to explain that, that was the complaint that I filed with the Braintree Police. I wrote on the top that as an ADA accommodation request for my disability, I want them to respond in writing. Because they have to call me back to interview me about that complaint. And they're like, well, we have to call to the interview. I was like, you can write a list of questions in an email and I'll respond. But if they insist upon, if they absolutely insist upon doing the interview over the phone, all right, that's fine. I'll just record the phone call. I'm documenting harassment by the police. I'll just document everything on my own if they're not, because the Braintree Police do not wear body cams. They don't wear body cams, and they have poor memories because they misquoted me. I'm really rather proud of that little detail. Because, yeah, I remember verbatim how that little rant ended, and they wrote it down wrong. They tried to quote something really offensive that I said to them at the end of an autistic rant, and they got it wrong. They just got it wrong. I want to say it was so good. Oh, it's so well done. I'm really good with offensive quips. And that's the thing, is that the police officers that were standing there and actually heard the really offensive thing that I said directly to their faces while I laughed in response. Because they had been standing there for several minutes listening to me tell jokes and laughing at them before they finally got me into the ambulance I had requested. So, yep. Oh, but so the guy on the side of the road today, turned out it wasn't Chris, but I offered to like get him in the car and let him take a nap or whatever. So I'd pull up, I'd been on the other side of the street, I pulled up around in front of him, and in between the guardrail and my car, he just fell to the ground. I managed to catch him so he didn't hit his head or anything, but he could not get back up. Someone ended up calling an ambulance for him, so of course I got to interact with a whole crowd of Weymouth police officers today, and had a perfectly pleasant chat with several of them. One of them who I had recorded a video that is Facebook deleted it. It was part of the stuff that was happening in 2024. I recognized him because he was like the cover picture of one of the videos of just demonstrating, yeah, no, my neighbors just keep using the police to harass me. So he was there and he was like, you seem really good, you're doing much better. I was like, yeah, I'm much healthier when people aren't constantly sending you guys to come bother and terrorize me because I'm crying in my yard. And I told them about how one of the neighbors called because I was literally just sobbing in Amos's arm the other day. I don't really want to stay here another day, but yeah, no. I'm going to be filing restraining orders against probably several people. I was gonna try and do that today, but I just want to go home. I'm just waiting out traffic right now. But so yeah, I had a perfectly pleasant chat with several of the Weymouth police officers who have interacted with me before today, because they responded to, yeah, no, it was almost immediately before they pulled up, I'd finally gotten impatient and was like, dude, let me help you up, because he wouldn't let me help him up off the ground. I was like, the longer we stand here, the more likely it is the police show up, so like, can we get going, please? And that was when they pulled up. I used to have pants just like those. But, yeah, they showed up and helped him get into an ambulance, because, yeah, dude was not going anywhere. And it wasn't just that he was drunk, like, his legs he could not get up off the ground. But, so, I was hoping it would be Chris, it wasn't. But at least now I know, like, no, he's definitely still alive. We'll find him sooner or later. But yeah, so I'm gonna chill out for a little bit and then hit the highway, and I don't have to appear in person for any more court dates until we actually like start like doing the more serious shit. I just have to log into Zoom from wherever I end up. So maybe I'll actually do some traveling. That's what I want. I want a full body fishnet suit. I have to replace everything I owned. One of my friends had given me like a really cool corset that was in the van when the police had it towed under false pretenses, and everything I owned was destroyed. They apparently don't have full body fishnets. So, jewelry. Anyway, I'm buying me my own birthday presents. Because I know what I want. Anyway, that's enough. Happy birthday to me.